So I think we are live. I think it's actually happening, and still got this little blue halo. I'm probably doing something wrong with the green screen. For all I know, that's fine. We will figure it out. I'm here to talk about something that's very important. It is the Nutcracker epidemic. It seems, at least it seems to me, that children everywhere, are scared of these things. We happen to have one that's 6 feet tall in our living room. And I'm proud of our Nutcracker. I'm proud of it. And that's what we're going to talk about today. If we can get anybody to show up to talk today, because let's face it, I don't live stream that often. But when I do, I do. And we might live stream a little bit this holiday season. Of course, I only see, I think there's only one person in here right now. So I'm trying to give people some time, all 3 or 4 of them. I was recording a members only. I'm thankful that we have members on our channel. Not many, but we've got a few, and I'm thankful for them. And so we do have a few. Got to turn the comments on here. There we go. And I'm thankful that we have a few members. And so I was making a members only video. And so as I was making the members only video, essentially, I thought, I'm going to jump on for a minute and I'm going to see if anybody is, it's still early. It's like 7 o'clock. Normally we do these things at around 9. But I thought maybe I could see if anybody's up. They're wanting to live stream, hang out, and talk. I can't really even tell right now if there's even anybody in here as far as that goes. I'm going to open this up on my telephone as well, just in case I lose. I don't want my 2025 recap. By the way, give us a shout out. Let us know if you're in here. That way we don't have anybody in here yet. Dismiss the recap. Trying to find my channel. That's my English accent. That's my British accent right there. I'm trying to find my channel. How was that? Was that okay? And we're going to talk tonight about Christmas and about nutcrackers. And look at that. It's in my living room right now. I think it's 6 foot tall. The way I'm recording it, though, it doesn't look that tall, But our tree is like 10, 11 feet. See, it says, Shane Boston's in here. It says he's commenting in the live. Don't know if I can see it. And I don't see it, Shane. Not yet. And that's probably because I got something set up wrong. I'm using StreamYard. And it's not that StreamYard's actually a pretty good thing. I just never do this. I'm trying to see. Wait, that's you, Shane. I see you now. I got you. I got you, man. I got you. You're there in the bottom right corner. But with my eyes these days, I cannot see it. But I do see you. Got a text there from Shane Boston down in Florida. So good to see you guys, all one of you right now. But hey, one is better than 0. Hey, there's 2, and 2 is better than 1. You follow where I'm going with this number thing. You just keep adding them. It just gets better and better. Welcome to our live stream. We're talking about the Nutcracker epidemic, the Nutcracker crisis. We're talking about lockdown, people. We're talking about shutting everything down. You might as well go ahead and start hoarding your milk and your butter, your eggs, and bacon grease because of the upcoming Nutcracker epidemic. People in the South, they don't tend to, I don't know why, but there's not as much love for the Nutcracker during Christmas in these parts of Tennessee as there are other regions. And so, I'm trying to address the crisis because apparently when people set nutcrackers up, it's a divisive thing. People talk, people get angry about it. I didn't know this. And I'm hoping that maybe you guys will shed some light on the Nutcracker crisis. Are nutcrackers, setting ones out like this 6 foot nutcracker that I have in my living room, because why not? Put it beside a Christmas tree. It's a big hit. I used to have a dancing Santa Claus. I'm that guy that when you walk into Walmart back in the early 2000s and they had the dancing Santa Claus, and when you walk by it, it shakes and sings like "Have a holly jolly Christmas" or whatever it sings. I'm buying. That's me right then. I'm buying that thing. It's going in the living room. We had it for years. Some people I know put it in the shower. Shane remembered. Yeah, because it's hilarious. The kids use the words they use the word ironic wrong, and so but it's become ironic to say the word ironic. But it's become, I guess it's my irony of humor or something. I don't know, whatever. Nutcrackers. I want to hear what you have to say about it. Because when I grew up, mom and dad wanting me to have some culture, wanting me to experience new things and sounds and put a tie on. And this is back when people still put a tie on to go see the symphony. We would go to see the Detroit Symphony, and we would go see the Nutcracker. When we moved to Tennessee years later, the local troupe here, they put on the Nutcracker every year. They still do it down at the Tivoli in Chattanooga. Every year I took my kids. We all went as a family, big family, all dressed in the red sweaters. And out in the lobby, they sold thousands of Nutcrackers, which that's where the money is made. It's not really on the ticket sales. It's on selling those Nutcrackers, because you're bringing your little kids, because everybody was doing what we were doing, which is you're bringing your family to see the Nutcrackers. It's Christmassy. It's red and green and ballet. So you endure the ballet. And I don't know at what point they started selling concessions at like the ballet, but they did. And so there's because my mom would come and her husband Dennis, they would come and they would buy like $1,000 worth of candy for the kids. So the kids are dressed up in red and all that stuff. You know, the red sweaters, the turtlenecks. It looked like something right out of Currier and Ives. I don't know. And so we're all sitting there and they're all crunching. It's hilarious. They're eating all this stuff. By the way, hello, Bryn G. Shout out to you, my West Virginia, who doesn't live in West Virginia anymore, but my West Virginia friend. Always good to see you. But anyway, we're talking about Nutcrackers here, Brandon, the epidemic of Nutcrackers. So we would go see it, and it was a festive thing. I'm not saying it's as classy as it may have been at one time. I'm not even sure it was classy back then. I'm just saying a little culture, people. And so the Nutcracker is the hero kind of the story, you know, not really, but kind of, but it's definitely the most visible part of the, because everything else just kind of mashes together until you're older and you get what's going on. It's a communist story. It's scary. It's very, no, I'm kidding. It's not communist. It's actually very capitalist. Anyway, so you've got all these terrible things happening. You've got the Nutcracker, who's the hero. And so then afterwards, you go out to the lobby and you spend like thousands of dollars on Nutcrackers. You do. That's what you do with this. And so you grow up. If there's brainwashing involved, I'm pretty sure the Nutcracker is a part of MK Ultra. I don't know that for sure. It's possible. We got one commenter here that says, by the way, hello, thank you for stopping by. It says, I performed the Nutcracker 3 times. Oh my gosh, the Illuminati is here. It's here, people. I'm kidding, of course. He performed as the mouse twice and a toy soldier once. See, it's in the background. That's my living room right there. So welcome, by the way. It's so good to see you. So we have this, you got the Nutcracker. You've got the propaganda of the Nutcracker that has infiltrated society. You've got Christmas time. So should Nutcrackers be a part of this Christmas scene? I think it should be, because, hey, we've already been propagandized. We might as well enjoy it. We've already been propagandized with it. I love it. I think it is the epitome of Christmas. Like when you think of Christmas, listen, we all know that Christmas is about the birth of Jesus Christ. That is what Christmas is about. I'm a Christian. I'm in. I'm totally in. Of course I am. Okay, fine. But I'm just saying, as far as, you know, you got Santa and you got the reindeer, and somehow Frosty's in there, even though winter is longer than Christmas. I'm just saying, I don't know that Frosty should be a part of the Christmas thing. Just anybody else want to comment on that? You've got Rudolph, who obviously he has a disability, but he made it work for him. You know what I mean? He's a champion. Why can't this soldier? Think about it. Patriotism. I know he's like, I guess he's a Russian soldier. Tchaikovsky, Russian. I was talking to Carolyn about this the other night, and I've always had him out to be a Junker, like the Prussian soldier, but I guess he would be Russian. The Nutcracker and the Mouse King. Ultra. Oh, MK. Oh, my goodness. That was a great comment. That is referring to the MK Ultra, the M and the K, Mouse King. That's great. It is, man. It's all a part of it. It's all a part of it. And the colors, red, communism. I don't know. It's just something to think about. It's just something. It's just something to talk amongst yourselves about. I don't know. But now that he's here, he's got that crazy mustache too. Whoever had a mustache like that, where it like perfectly came out, nobody ever had one like that. It says Hoffmann's original 1816 story, The Nutcracker and the Mouse King. That's okay. So is that Russian? I mean, because you obviously know 10 times more than I do about this. It's Russian, right? Tchaikovsky, the ballet. I'm talking about the ballet, like, because that's all I. Not that I ever dance ballet. That would be funny. I mean, the only time I've worn tights is like my deer hunting clothes, where they're pretty tight right now. Trust me, you wouldn't want to see that. Yes, I'm crunching in my microphone here. That is the origin, not the ballet. So, but it's German. See, it is a Junker, right? It'd be like a Prussian soldier. I'm thinking, I mean, that's what it always reminded me of anyway. It was like this very German, but Germany doesn't become a nation until what, 1877, 1871. I always get them and Italy confused, but 1877, 1871. So when that's written, I'm thinking Prussia, Junker. I mean, I guess it could be Bavaria, but I'm thinking more north. I'm thinking where it's more Christmassy, maybe. Could be. I don't know. I've been watching a lot of stuff about because everybody watches YouTube. You're watching YouTube right now, and everybody watches junk on YouTube. Thank you, by the way. And when I'm watching this stuff and they're quoting these sources, they'll make you think there's hidden symbolism in everything. And so I'm wondering, is there hidden symbolism in something like the Nutcracker? Probably. I'm sure there is. Probably the Masons, Illuminati, whatever. I just know it can cause quite a stir when you've got Nutcracker statues, these again, that really is my living room. I'm not in there right now, but I took a picture and put it behind me here. You've got this 6 foot tall, whatever, Nutcracker here. And when you see him in town or someplace else, people talk. I wish they wouldn't put that up. That's ridiculous. That isn't Christmas. I'm thinking, what are you talking about? Of course it's Christmas. But it's just how people are. It says it was actually a dark German fairy tale. Is it dark though? I mean, I haven't read. Listen, I haven't read it. I haven't read it. I've just been to ballet again and again and again. And it seems the way Tchaikovsky, the way the ballet, it feels so. Especially when you go into the different lands and they're on the sleigh and you're going through the different dances and all that stuff. It seems pretty. It doesn't seem dark, but then again, neither did any of the fairy tales that Disney kind of reimagined. Those are dark. Those are very dark. All the fairy tales that we grew up with. Again, that Disney did their thing with it, made it happy, but they weren't really happy. It says we Americanized it. We did indeed. We did indeed. I wonder how many other stories could be like Americanized or Disneyfied with a story. Like take a true story and you like turn it around and make it a happy ending. Like here's the assassination of JFK, happy ending version. I'm kidding. That's a bad joke. Sorry, I'm kidding. But could you? Carol and I run into this. Speaking of our normal videos, Carol and I run into this. I think I ran like 3 people out of here with that comment. I'm so sorry. Carol and I run into this all the time. When we're driving around, you'll see these national park placards of varying shapes and sizes or whatever that are making something better. I was just talking about this on our members only video that I'm making, where I was talking about how we run into things about the CCC in every national park and every national forest. There are statues and plaques, and I mean they commemorate the CCC big time. That was, by the way, in case you don't know, that was a workers program that was around during the Great Depression. And they were kind of given the responsibility of building trails and doing some cool stuff. I mean, stuff that I appreciate to this day. And it was hard work. It was laborious work. But it's just the idea of how obvious, it's obvious that it was propaganda. Like when you're going to these parks, and when I say every park, I mean every park we ever go to. It always has the statue, the placard, whatever. And it's funny because it's widely accepted now that that program didn't actually help us during the Great Depression as far as lift us out of the Great Depression, but it made us feel good probably, but it didn't really have a lot of teeth to lift us all out of the Great Depression. There were other things that happened that probably helped a whole lot more. And so I just started thinking, what if like you work at a job 25 years, let's say you work at here in Chattanooga, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and or up in Detroit, like you work at Ford or Chrysler or Chevy, and like when you've worked 25 years, they build a plaque or they build a statue and have a plaque, not for you, but to commemorate your work and all of the people's work forever and ever and ever and ever. It would seem kind of strange. I mean, if you think about it. So these guys worked, I think it was around, I forget how long the CCC was in. Was it 10 years maybe? Or I can't remember. But it's like they did this much work, 10 years, but they are commemorated like they worked for like 30 years. It's just interesting stuff. Bridgie says, am I the only one who has never seen the Nutcracker? No, Brid, we were actually talking about this earlier. We used to go every year. Our family, I mean, just about every year through my kids' childhood. Mom took me when I was younger. Mom and Dad both. Actually, Mom would drag Dad. Dad didn't really want to go. Mom would drag Dad. And so we would all go. So yeah, I mean, again, it's a thing, but a lot of people, they're resistant towards the Nutcracker being a part of the Christmas thing. I'm telling you, people hate the thing behind me. You would be surprised at how much people just talk about it. They're like, that's not a part of Christmas. But she says, I can't comment because of that. Well, stick around though, because you might have something to say as an objective observer. He says, I have never seen one. I think, there we are. She said, I have never seen one in person. I've never seen a life-size one like this until last year. Other than going to the ballet, they would have the big statues set up. And maybe those were for sale because I think everything was for sale at those things. Again, when it dawned on me the last couple of years we went here in Chattanooga, and again, I'm going back to like 2014, 15, 2012, maybe 10, something like that, where it wasn't, the tickets weren't even that much money. They had concessions. And again, my parents would buy my kids $1,000 worth of candy, and they would just sit there and scarf it down during the entire show, which actually it works to keep them quiet, though, I admit, until after, but the real money was made in the lobby because the souvenirs, the toy Nutcrackers were just selling off the shelf. So the giant Nutcrackers there may have been for sale, and I just didn't go around them. Another comment here says, and I can't, what is that? Me now 2416. That's what it is. I'm sorry. These glasses are terrible with the screen. I saw a rendition of the Nutcracker when I was in Gen Pop in prison, but it was, it was stale and lacked imagination. That sounds like my YouTube channel, but sorry. That's the best I can do. I think everybody should go one time because it's an accessible, in other words, it's familiar enough to where you'll hum around with the music. You'll recognize all of the songs. I'll tell you what you'll do. You'll sit there and you'll hear something. Dun, 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 oh yeah, that's Nutcracker. Oh yeah, that was what that was. And you'll listen to different songs, different, pieces of music, different selections, and you'll be like, yeah, oh yeah, and that'll kind of keep you through it. That'll sustain you if you hate the ballet. Now, as the older I got, the more I started appreciating ballet. Not that but I'm not going to go out of my way to see a ballet. Like, I'm not going to go see something else. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here and browse YouTube ballet. Of course, YouTube is listening and YouTube knows that you're here. So what does that mean? That means that your feed is going to get populated now with ballet stuff, but I don't think it's something I would even try to watch on YouTube. Like, here, I'm going to watch this version of the Nutcracker. I think it's worth it if you get dressed up and you go to whatever city you're close to, that their local troupe or whatever. Well, a lot of times it'll be like a local symphony, a local ballet troupe, and they will bring in somebody that's really good for certain parts. If those of you who have been in Nutcracker, let us know if that's the typical But that's usually the thing. Like they'll have a guest from, I don't know, Slovakia or something that'll come in and be a certain character, and they highlight that person. But everybody else, I mean, they're local, kind of. Maybe they bring in some ringers from around the region, but they're kind of local. So yeah, go see it. Go see it. The one here in Chattanooga, we always enjoyed it. It was always great. Now, Tarot Oracles. Oh, that's a cool name. It says the Sugar Plum Fairy. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. I think that's the Sugar Plum Fairy, right? Or Sugar Plum Dance or something. There's some crazy, like when you're sitting there watching it, man, I'm glad, like, I live a pretty much a clean lifestyle. And so my wild and woolly days are over. But I wouldn't want to have been on anything and go see the Nutcracker because it would be trippy. It would, oh my goodness, I think I would run out of the theater. It would have been nuts because of just the colors. And I can't, I don't want to get it confused with anything else. Carolyn and I love musicals. And so we've seen a few musicals, but ballet is different than a musical. Ballet's ballet. And I think it would have tripped me out. I think it would have really tripped me out. Even it's still awesome though. As far as the scenery, if it's done right, if you live in a good city, Chattanooga's a good city, Nashville, Knoxville, as far as all of those cities are going to produce something that is worth going to see. I saw Romeo and Juliet in Nashville. Shane, I don't know if you went to that or not. We were sophomores in high school. And I don't remember if you went or not, but we went to see Romeo and Juliet in Nashville. And they did a great job. Like it was just amazing. The set pieces were awesome. The acting was amazing. I think that was written by, an unknown playwright by the name of Billy Shakespeare. I think so. Anyway, but I'm sure Atlanta does a great job as far as regionally. I'm just talking about around here at TPAC. I thought that said Tupac. I can't tell the screen because of the glare of my eyes, but I'm like, Tupac was in Shakespeare. He was in Nutcracker. I can't figure out which one it was. Oh yeah, we saw the Phantom there too. That's right. You guys went to see the Phantom down there. That's right. That was awesome. So there's some great places around the country that have great theater, and if you want to go see a ballet and you want to go see the Nutcracker, I bet you it's playing in every major city in America right now. By the way, a great thing, I'm talking about all-time great thing to go see if you ever have to go to New York. There was a time I would say if you ever get to go. I'm not saying that these days because New York is not the New York it was 10 years ago, much less 20. But about 10 years ago, Carol and I went to New York. We got to sing at Carnegie Hall with our choir and got to spend a week in New York. And it was phenomenal. I went back in high school as well, and it was still just amazing. We had an amazing time. We went to New York, and we went to it was a Christmas show at Radio City Music Hall. I was blown away. Was not expecting it to be awesome. Was not expecting it to blow my mind. It was awesome in every possible way. They shared the gospel of Christ at the end. I was like, here? And I was like, outstanding. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. It was awesome. People were crying everywhere. It was just unbelievable. So that would be something I would actually, Carol and I kept meaning to when we lived in Virginia. We were about 5 hours away from New York City. We kept wanting to go back at Christmas and see that production. I was just to go back again. Never got to. But they were showing it on television or showing somebody who was going to see it. They got free tickets. It was this kid. I remember what it was. It was Thanksgiving Day. Carolyn was watching it. And they were giving this kid, it's a true story, this past Thanksgiving, Roker, what's his name, Al Roker or whatever, was giving this kid free tickets to Radio City Music Hall to see the annual Christmas show. And the kid looks up and goes, I saw it last night. It's like, oh man, like, wow, bad moment. Should have screened that kid a little better. Kid was so disappointed. Like, is that it? I've just got finished seeing that. He wasn't impressed. The little kid was not impressed. Anyway, it's what I get for watching the Macy's. By the way, as great as that was, as great as it was going to Radio City Music Hall and seeing Central Park all decked out for Christmas, just New York, the windows, because after Thanksgiving, man, they have this big, they decorate their windows, and it's fantastic. It's just so cool. As great as that was, the most disappointing thing was Macy's parade. I've been watching the Thanksgiving parade every year of my life. I'd watch it with my Aunt Marie. We would watch it. We'd get by the television every Thanksgiving. Grandparents in there cooking, parents cooking. I mean, it's a big day. The whole family, real Americana here, real Americana. The whole family piles into this house in Michigan. 185 people. It's what it felt like in the living room. But you start out the morning. You get little samples from grandma's pie and grandma's desserts and turkey and ham and all that stuff. It's great. You're watching the parade. And as time goes on in the parade, you kind of lose interest after about 2.5 hours. But still, as a kid, it's great. You go to New York and you're there on Thanksgiving, like Carol and I were back 10 years ago. And it's nothing like it is on television. And I put it together later that if you're local, like if you grew up in New York City, it's a bigger deal. It's a bigger part of your tradition, right? For reasons. I don't know. I didn't grow up in New York, but you really don't know what's going on. You don't really know where to stand. And like those little breaks where they have like the singing and the dancing and all that stuff, there's really no place to sit and watch that or stand and watch that. It's just for television. So I'm just saying, I would never go to New York just to see the Thanksgiving parade. I would go at Christmas or late fall around Thanksgiving for Central Park. Is just incredible that time of year. At least when we were there, it was a little warmer than you would think it would be. Even though it snowed while we were there were still leaves on the tree, like they were fall, but it was just great. Catching up here. She's always the great star in one of my performances. It was Dixie Carter. That's kind of cool. That is awesome. I think my New York story just bored the socks off of people because we lost like 3 or 4 people. So I'm still glad that you are here and enduring this that drudgery of a story. Apparently, I thought it was cool, and that's what matters. At the end of the day, this live stream is for me, people. It's for me. But welcome back. If you're going back and forth, welcome back either way. I'm glad you're here nonetheless. By the way, I hope that you guys that are in here will consider becoming members. I'm not trying to push that too hard, but I am. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. I'm just kidding. We make content on there that's a little different. It's more of this kind of just talking about where we're going or where we just got back from. And I give you the real scoop as opposed to the factoid videos that we try to put out there. I think AI is going to take over all of it. Matter of fact, if I can get this to play, I don't know if I can, but I talked a little bit about this on the members video that I just made. And because I was talking about the Christmas tree that we have with a new set of lights in their LED lights. And I had this idea for a song. Now, Shane and I, we both wrote songs. And so this is what I plugged into AI. This is what I got. Now, you guys can tell me if you think this is, I didn't say if it's a good song, but it just sounds like something you would have heard on the radio for the past 40 years of Christmas. Just check it out. I don't know if you can do that or not. I'll do the best. You guys hear that? Doesn't that sound Christmassy? Like, I didn't say like it's good or anything. It's just, really? And I remember back in the day when, again, whether it was same there, we grew up with him, with high school together, we know each other. And we're playing music since we were 12 years old together. And if you wanted to write a song, you gotta spend the day writing a song. And we used to play guitar together, and we used to do all that stuff. And so, I had this idea about an old Christmas tree. That one back there, it's old. It's like, I don't know, 20-something years old. And it's a big tree. It's beautiful. I've talked about it during Vlogmas years ago. And I've set it next to this 6-foot Nutcracker. But the lights that are on the tree, my son wanted me to try just for 1 year to look at the LED concept because there are LED Christmas lights that he does. It's kind of cool. But anyway, so I had this idea about an old tree with new lights. That could be a song. And I plugged it into AI just to see. And I'm like, oh, wow, that was quick. I mean, I think it took it 30 seconds, maybe 20. And it's probably because it was taking a coffee break. You could probably do it in 2 seconds, but it relaxed. And so, yes, Bren, that is the crooked tree. It turns out the base of that, Bren, was what was kept throwing it off all those years. It's kind of fixed, that crooked lean or whatever. That part is kind of fixed, but it's falling apart. Like the little pine needles are coming off of it. My grandson, he's a doll. He just loves picking the pine needles off. So he goes up to it, and it doesn't matter how many times you tell him no. This year I refuse to tell that kid no about picking the pine needles off. You're going to throw the tree away anyway. There are no ornaments on it right now. Carolyn has had 2 surgeries in the past 4 months on her feet. It's a long story, but she's fine. But she can't stand a long time, so we're kind of putting it off until we get to it. As far as the actual decorating, I've got a fence that goes around the tree and all that for when that happens, so that when the grandson comes over, there's some distance there. But right now, who cares if he pulls every pine needle off that tree? Of course, Anna and Oz, they're like, stop, Ezekiel, stop, Ezekiel. And I'm like, let him pull the pine needles. But anyway, between him and just moving it from the storage and back 20 years worth, I'm surprised there's a pine needle left on the thing. So, yeah, it's still around. So an old tree and new lights. I just thought that somebody could do something with that, something poetic. And so there you go. You've got my little Motown-ish kind of AI songs. And Brent says, let him have fun. He's only a kid once. Well, sure. And I think that, the fear there, I can hear parents now. I can hear parents say, if you don't stop him pulling pine needles now, he's going to grow up to pull pine needles for the rest of his life. We should be that lucky. We should be that lucky that he would be that obsessed with pulling pine needles when he's older. Like, wow, I think we've accomplished something. If that's all he's doing, let him. But also, I think you can set kids up for failure too. You're going to put this huge 10-foot tree up in your house, all kinds of lights. And by the way, the thing about the LED, that thing does like 800 colors and variations. In fact, by the time my son Nathan and I, by the time we're done, you're going to be able to watch TV on our tree. I'm serious. Because these LEDs, they've got them factored into where there's so many like pixels. Somehow he was explaining it to me to where you can literally put images through there onto the tree. Don't ask me how that happens. I don't know. I can barely live stream without hurting myself. Okay. But he was explaining it to me. And so you're going to put a tree up like this. That's just all kinds of variations. I think the color I had that night was like red and gold, and it had this spark in it. Not flashing. Don't think flashing Christmas lights like we all grew up with. No. It's like this flash. So you felt like you're at Disney or at the airport or whatever. I don't know. But it was like red, and it would just flash periodically. He is just fascinated by it. I am too. We're both staring at it. Both of us are. And we're enjoying the moment of this red Christmas tree. And you're going to tell a kid not to touch it. He's 4 years old. Come on. I am 51. Yeah, I'm 51. I'm staring. I'm pulling pine needles because mom and dad never told me to stop. They never told me to stop pulling pine needles. So I'm going to pull pine needles for the rest of my life. No, but I mean, of course, you're setting the kid up for failure. You put all these nice shiny things around them, and then they get in trouble if they touch it or get near it. So what I like to do is like, hey, let's set them up for success. We put a fence around our ornaments and all that stuff. It's not a huge fence, 10 feet. No, I'm kidding. But we also have to trap the soldier in. We don't want him getting too soldiery and starting a massacre at Christmas because of PTSD. I don't know. I mean, he's a Junker. We found that out tonight. So who knows what he's capable of? He's a German soldier prior to the 20th century. It could happen. It's crazy. So I've got to set this up differently next time because I'm having a hard time seeing some of the comments. I'm getting sent some of the funniest text during this live stream too. It's hilarious. I was talking about we're at the airport. Yes, exactly. What kind of, if you were to pick a perfect Christmas, what does a perfect Christmas look like to you? What does it look like? Come on, I'm waiting for your responses. Raise your hand. What does a perfect Christmas look like? Peace on earth, as David Bowie said. You remember the song he sung with Bing Crosby? Peace on earth, goodwill towards men, Hopefully the German soldier doesn't try to discipline your grandson. It could happen. It could happen. But good luck with that. Good luck with that. Good luck. Ezekiel will tear him up, man. I'm actually very proud of both of them because Eleanor and Ezekiel, we have the newborn and had a little peanut a month ago. And so everybody's taking turns holding the newborn. And Eleanor and Ezekiel, they act like pros now. They know how all of this goes. And so they were, other than the pine needles, which wasn't that big of a deal, they left the soldier alone. Like I was totally expecting Eleanor or Ezekiel one to like grab the soldier and the head comes off really easy. You know how those German soldiers are. They lose their heads. No. Seriously though, the head just comes right off. Like if you touch it, it comes off. And at some point, because this one's used, at some point you could hook this up electronically and it did something. I have no idea what that is, but at some point it did that. But they left it alone and it was fine. You know what I'm saying? But the next time they come over, they're probably going to feel a little more empowered. I was worried that they were going to be scared. I was worried they were going to look at it and be like, ah, and run away from it. I was actually looking forward to it too. Like, okay, hear me out on this. Because to me, it's the Nutcracker. I've seen the Nutcracker. But if you look at something through a kid's eye, like what does that look? Because Santa Claus is scary as all get out. It's terrifying. My son, Nathan, and he wouldn't care about me telling this, but at Disney World, when he was little, he was terrified of those, the people dressed up. Then again, I'm kind of terrified of them too, now that I've seen a few YouTube videos. It does look spooky. It does. And it's funny because I keep looking at it and I think I can turn around and I keep forgetting it's a green screen behind me, but it does look spooky. I've heard Nutcrackers voted and turned most states red. Draw your own opinions whether you think it's good. The Republican Party has commandeered the Nutcrackers to expand the party from coast to coast. Oh, but they have blue Nutcrackers too, so that would have been cool though, to have had a blue one and a red one last year during the election. Why didn't I do that? Oh, that would have been great. That would have been great. You get a blue one and a red one, like some graphics or something, put D on one, R on the other. It'd be great. He kind of looks like a few politicians, kind of, his eyes are wide open. So I don't know. I'm telling you, a blue Nutcracker. Exactly. The only thing that terrified me were the street vendors in Tijuana, Mexico, when I was 5 years old. Take Santa over them any day. Yeah. The food at those street vendors down in Nicaragua, the food at the street vendors was actually really, really good. And the people are so sweet. They were so kind to us. Everywhere we went in Nicaragua, they were kind. Puerto Rico too. I know that I've heard people talk about have some negative stories in Puerto Rico. I wouldn't want to be in San Juan after 9 o'clock at night. But most of where I was at in Puerto Rico, the people, I stepped on a sea urchin there, and I was there with the guard, and I stepped on a sea urchin. We were on little R&R, and I stepped on a sea urchin, and so you got all these needles in your foot, and obviously I can't walk, and I'm feeling sort of like not paralyzed by like some kind of neurotoxin, just in pain, like severe pain, because they were like all the way in my foot, like that far. And I'm screaming out. So these two guys, I'm about chest deep, and these two buddies of mine, they come fish me out. And this older Puerto Rican woman on the beach, I don't know what she was saying in Spanish, and I'm not making this up. She's holding a bottle of tequila and tweezers. And they're waving her off, but I'll never forget that image. Like, she's like, I'm here. I've got this. Happens all the time. And it would have been, I'm not trying to endorse, alcohol. I'm just saying that it would have probably been a lot better than the doctor that I went to, the Army doctor, that no anesthetic. It was like the tweezers and nothing more. And they went to work pulling those things out, and that was painful. So, as far as going someplace, if you're talking about a perfect Christmas, I don't know as far as location. If you're going to go to the beach, if you're going to go Tijuana, if you're going to go like exotic vacation or something, sure. like that one time or whatever. And we've done similar stuff to that. But as far as the Norman Rockwell picturesque Christmas, where would it be? And I am torn on that because my childhood was kind of colorful and in a good way, not a bad way. So you've got people here in the South that they love their, here in Tennessee, their tender Tennessee Christmas. They love it. They love a Southern Christmas. They're not that big. They're not that interested in snow. And if they are, they only want it like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And that's just not how snow works. It isn't one of those, well, we could get lucky this year. And maybe it does that one time every 25 years. But most of the time you have to live in a place that it snows. Not most of the time, all the time. You have to live in a place that it snows in order to have a high probability of having snow on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And so for me, it was always, being up in Michigan, Shane knows exactly where I'm talking about. It was always better for me in Michigan during Christmas. You're almost guaranteed snow, lots of snow. Sometimes the blizzard would come like Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. And it was still very Americana, lots of families, lots of stuff, until the divorce epidemic of the 1990s hit. And of course that, splinters families everywhere. But in the South, though, it's different. And that is still, for me as an old man, it's still hard for me to get used to what that's like now. As far as even with my own kids, they have a different kind of mentality when it comes to what Christmas should be. I'm ready to go to West Virginia on one of those mountaintops out there where there's nobody, because all of West Virginia is remote West Virginia. All of West Virginia is in the middle of nowhere. It's wonderful. I love it. Yes, there are some cities in West Virginia. Don't misunderstand me. But there's just a lot of land and a lot of mountaintop land. And I would love to go to one of those mountaintops that's like completely covered in red spruce trees and hemlocks and enjoy a blizzard. Not the Dairy Queen variety, but enjoy a blizzard, because I'm telling you, like right now in Spruce Knob, Dolly Sods, guarantee it, there's probably 20 inches of snow already. Snowshoe. I think we saw a video the other day, like a live stream video or whatever. I think they already had a base of like 12 inches. Somebody had to look that up, but it was huge. It was great. It says, no, you can call it sugar booger, not snow. Bryn is in rare form tonight, man. It is good to talk to you. You are in rare form. I love it. I love it. It's always good to talk to you. She was always keeping up with us. We made a video just for Bryn. And I was dedicated. I wouldn't say it's just for Bryn. We had been meaning to go up there too, but we went up to Pittsburgh to make a video. But it was with Bryn in mind, because, that was part of her childhood and things like that. And she'd shared that with us. And so we're like, we're heading up there. No, I love it, Bryn. It's great. Mountaintop in West Virginia with a Charlie Brown Christmas tree. No. I got to have my Nutcracker. Even if I'm in West Virginia, I'm bringing my Nutcracker. I'm bringing my red Nutcracker. I'm bringing a red Nutcracker, maybe a blue one too, because West Virginia's sort of in the middle of all that. So we'll have like a Republic. They'll do all the fighting at Christmas. Your Nutcrackers will. So instead of like having family arguments, politics, and all that, you just put a red and blue Nutcracker in and say, they're going to do this for us. We're going to have fun and play Monopoly. No, don't do that. That used to start like riots in my house, not my house, but in our families, for our families' Christmases. Seriously. Well, guys, it has been wonderful. You have been great. My goal, if I can pull this off, is to Vlogmas this year. It's been great. So I want to be able to do this every night from now until Christmas Eve. That's the goal. But is it possible? I don't know. Here's what I know is it's not possible unless you're a part of it. If you will be a part of this with me and come and hang out, this will rock. If you'll share it when we get started, we will have a good time. It's always more fun if you're involved. It's not fun if there's like me and two people, Well, it depends on who the two people are. Am I right? But I'm just saying it's a lot more fun when there's a lot of people in here. So I really, really hope that you will connect with us. We're going to try to do this every night. I don't want to advertise it because, man, life gets hard and crazy stuff happens. And I don't want to overpromise and then have to back out and say, okay, we can't do that. So we're going to try to do a Vlogmas thing this year from now until Christmas Eve. So I hope you will come and stick around and hang out with us. Now, here's the thing. I have no idea how to shut this down, so this is going to be a lot of fun. But anyway, thank you for stopping by. Be blessed and happy Nutcracker.